What up? It's the real Keith, any other fabrication of your imagination.
And I'm back with another Rekkyou Sensen review, chapter 29. And the chapter starts with a flashback 2 years ago, and Aiden and Selma met each other. Norway wanted to increase Selma's residence rate, which was 16%. And for that, they would trade resources with the United States. And they went on a few missions together. It had been nearly 90 years since diplomatic relations were severed to prevent conflicts between regions, but that's just the official story. It seems like every area is secretly maintaining exchanges like this behind the scenes. And then we see Selma and Aiden on the battlefield. Selma is all bloody and Aiden asks what's wrong, and she's taking out her anger on the dead body. She says even with the thesis cells, she's still weak and cannot protect her allies and can't overpower her enemies either. The justice and logic of the strong, it just all pisses her off. Wishing they all just become weak, and asks Aiden does he agree. Then she asks Aiden how does she become strong, and brings up his backstory of how he killed his best friend to raise his rate. And she asks him if she does the same, would it raise her rate? He says he doesn't know, and then questions did his best friend actually like him, and he says probably yes, and asks did he, and he says yes. And then she says she wants them to be happy no matter what it costs, and if she's not by their side. And Aiden says then you shouldn't kill them all. Aiden asks why did she come there, and she explains what she did to the French proxy hero. And she says she can't win, but she wants to win because her residence rate is low. Even after all of the missions her and Aiden went on, it did not raise her rate, and she thinks that he's hiding a way to raise it. And she asks when his residence rate went up, what happened? And he just says one word: despair. And then they bring up Hasuchi about how he is so positive, and says if those feelings are relative, she can understand why his rate is low, but his went up. And then she talks about all the other proxy heroes, saying they all look so happy. And she says if it's the more despair you feel, the stronger you get, then why is her resonance rate so low? And says Aiden is loved by his entire country, why does he still feel despair? Don't mess with her. And Aiden says we can't fully know what they are thinking because they are just outsiders. They can't even understand themselves. It's not about being loved by a nation. And Selma talks about how she is jealous of Aiden and his best friend. And Aiden tells her if your resonance rate isn't going up, it's maybe because you still have some hope in this world. But Aiden says it's just a guess, and there's a lot of people in the world with despair. And then he talks about thesis cells and how those cells adapt for survival on this earth. And these cells resonate with the world even if it means abandoning one's humanity to survive. And Aiden says even when we become aware of our despair, we still struggle to keep living. That's the strength of being human. And then Selma leaves his room and runs into Zai. And Selma asks was he watching them, and of course he was. But what Aiden said lingers in her mind, and asks Zai does he despair over something, and did he kill his best friend too? Which he replies back to her to shut up or he'll kill her. And she just taunts him and say, oh, so scary. And then it goes to the Russian team's waiting room an hour after Selma's attack. And they have been informed that their fight will take place today because of Selma's attack. And we have our first look at their proxy hero, and his name is Mikhail with a resonance rate of 96%. And he's the generation of beasts. And he says he's gonna get some rest to prepare for the battle. And his team talks about how his demeanor hasn't changed, and he's obedient and wishing that the people were just as obedient as him, the actual citizens of Russia. And the Russian president says even if the Earth's lifespan is extended, if resources run out again next time, it won't be a war to decide the fate of a fallen nation. It'll be a true world war. When that happens, will our country still be strong? Will our people still be united, facing the same direction? It's frightening. I want to make all my people happy. I want them to love their country and to have many things they wish to protect. I don't know if having something to protect makes people strong, but people who have something to protect tend to follow orders. And then we see Mikhail on the phone with his daughter and his wife, and he informs them that his fight is today. And he talks to his daughter, and she says that she turned 3, and they just have a nice heart-to-heart conversation. And then it says simply to protect what must be protected, the Lion of the North quietly begins to rage, and that's where the chapter ends. There was a lot of dialogue this chapter. Seems like Selma wants to know how to raise her residence rate. Is her biggest wish. It's also cool to see that at least 2 proxy heroes actually knew each other before the fight. I also like the little family dynamic they gave the Russian hero, and I like that at least one proxy hero is an adult and that all of them got thesis cells as kids. The Russian hero doesn't seem to be despairing too much, so I wonder if Selma's gonna actually raise her resonance rate. But that's all I got for you today. For more Rekkyou Sensen Chapter reviews, and if you like versus battles, like, share, subscribe, and comment. It doesn't cost you a dime while it costs me time. Follow Universal Debates on Facebook, and I just made a subreddit for all of the tournament style medias. All links in the description.